and its lawyers and bad law. Now let's go to the beginning. This all started back in 2017 when I and a handful of my companies got sued by a group called Utah Physicians for Healthy Environment, or UPHE. So you need to understand that the UPHE is made up of a bunch of doctors who are also activists.
Yeah, I mean, doctors run this
group
country.
is led by a doctor named Brian Monk. He is a very passionate man about the environment, and he is constantly out at rallies and protests and different events. On one hand, I can respect he wants the environment to be better and cleaner, just like all of us. But on the other hand, unfortunately, I cannot respect the way that he's gone about trying to enforce this. But the way they do this is they use an attorney. And they use the same attorney, or at least they have for a very long time, named Reed Zars from Laramie, Wyoming. Reed's Reed. That's all I can say. Reed doesn't like me very much, and we've had just a real wild relationship over the past 9 years, as he's been trying really hard to basically destroy my life. Now, you need to understand that Reed essentially built this lawsuit off of social media. He would sit there and watch social media, he would watch our TV show Diesel Brothers, and pretty much anywhere else that he could find me, and he would basically take what he found there and use it in his court case against me. Years ago, I put up a picture of a really cool house that I liked. Wasn't mine, didn't own it, had nothing to do with it. On the stand, he said, "Whose house is this? Where'd you get the money to pay for it? And how come we didn't know about it?" And I was like, "It's not mine. It's just a post that I made." And that was a common theme throughout this whole lawsuit. So one of the funniest stories on this whole journey was when Reed decided that I post on Facebook, so I must get paid by Facebook. And he wanted to get access to that money that they were paying me, which they weren't. And so he called Meta and basically said, "Hey, I'm an attorney. I want to garnish this account. You need to send all this money to me." And they're like, "Sir, no. Like, first of all, that's not how this works. Second of all, he's not in our system. Third of all, we're not paying him. Fourth of all, we can't give you any more information." He took a trip down to Meta headquarters, and in a court filing, which I'll show you proof of right here, he documents exactly what he did on this trip. He went to Meta. He tried to get in. He knocked on all the doors were all locked. So in this court briefing explaining his trip, he says, "I waited around outside, couldn't get in, and then I strategically timed my entrance into the building at the same time as the exit of an employee, aka he snuck in. Somebody opened the door and he found his way in. Went to the front desk and said, 'I'm here to collect Dave Sparks' money. I need you to provide me with all this information, blah, blah, blah.'" And they were like, "Sir, no." And even if I was in their system getting paid, that's not how it works. They weren't going to do it. And then he goes in, further into this brief, and he says, "It was at that point that I was then escorted out of the facility by 3 security guards, but not before Facebook offered him an opportunity." I really wish he would have done this, or I wish I had the picture, but they offered him the opportunity to take a selfie in front of the Facebook sign. He included all of this in his court brief that he submitted, basically to be used against him. Now, the reason I'm telling you the story is because remember how I told you that he was doing all sorts of stuff along the way to try to get at me and basically running the billing clock at the same time. So all of his efforts I was paying for. So I paid for, or was billed for, Reed going to Meta headquarters, sneaking in, trying to basically extort them for money that they don't pay me, and was then escorted out of the facility. And I don't know if he ever took the selfie, but if he did, honestly,